Welcome to my channel. Subscribe and enjoy my new stories every day. My daughter banned me from her wedding, so I secretly canceled the whole event I paid for. It's funny how people say your children will always love you, that no matter what happens, family is family. I used to believe that, even when my daughter Jessica started to drift away. I had no idea things would turn out so badly and, honestly, so painfully. The wedding was supposed to be a grand occasion. I'd been saving for years. I even cut back on my retirement plans to help her have the wedding of her dreams. I felt like I had to. After all, Jessica was my only daughter, and ever since her mother left us, it's just been the two of us. I felt she deserved everything I could give her, but as the wedding planning progressed, things began to shift. Jessica's fiancé, Thomas, had always been polite, but recently he had become distant. I blamed it on stress, and every time Jessica pushed me away, I told myself weddings were overwhelming. Besides, she seemed excited about her fairy tale ceremony, which we were planning at a vineyard estate 2 hours away, a place she loved. I wanted her to have that, even if it meant making sacrifices. Then, about 3 months before the wedding, Jessica asked to speak with me in my living room. She looked serious, and the first thing I noticed was that Thomas was with her. I wasn't prepared for what was coming. "Dad, there's something we need to talk about," she said, her voice tense. "Of course, anything you need," I replied warmly, thinking it was just a wedding-related discussion. But then she said the words that shattered me. "Dad, I think it would be best if you didn't come to the wedding." I stared at her, unable to understand. "What? Why?" She looked uncomfortable but stood her ground. "You and Thomas don't get along, and with everything that's happened, I think it'll be better if you're not there. It'll be less disruptive." I tried to stay calm, even though my anger was rising. "Disruptive? Jessica, I've done everything to make this wedding perfect for you." Thomas then stepped in, looking me straight in the eyes. "Look, Mr. Anderson, this isn't about the money. Jessica doesn't need the stress, and we both think it's best if you're just not there." I was stunned. After everything I'd done, the savings I'd drained, the late nights spent going through magazines for inspiration, and now, my daughter was telling me I wasn't welcome? I could barely hold it together as they left, the door closing behind them with an air of finality. For the next few days, I barely slept. I tried reaching out, hoping to fix whatever had come between us, but she didn't respond. Then, a week later, I found out through her cousin that Jessica had been telling everyone I refused to support her wedding, and that she had asked me to stay away because of how I treated her and Thomas. A part of me broke that day, something I didn't even know could break. I wasn't allowed at my daughter's wedding. I was the villain in her eyes. And I thought to myself, if she didn't want me there, why was I still paying for this grand event I wasn't welcome at? That's when the idea hit me. I called every vendor I had hired, politely, professionally, and firmly, and canceled the deposits. The caterer, the photographer, the florist, the DJ, even the dress designer. I informed them that the plans had changed, they wouldn't be needed, and that my payment would not be coming through. The venue manager tried to argue, saying it was too late to cancel. But I reminded him that I had signed the contract and had already paid. That was the last I heard from him. 3 days before the wedding, I got a frantic call from Jessica. She sounded hysterical, crying, and told me everything had fallen apart. She didn't understand why all the bookings had been canceled and begged me to fix it. "Dad, please. I need you to sort this out. It's too late to change venues, and we can't just reschedule everything." I stayed silent for a moment, listening to her desperation. Then I said, "Jessica, I thought you didn't want me involved. You made it clear that I wasn't needed, so I took myself out of the picture, including my money." She gasped. You canceled everything?" "Yes," I replied. "It's my money, and if I'm not allowed to be there, I see no reason to fund it." She hung up on me. After that, I heard from relatives that Jessica and Thomas had to scramble to put together a small, last-minute ceremony at a courthouse. Word spread, of course, and opinions were divided. Some thought I had gone too far. Others believed I was justified. Days later, I received a letter in the mail. No return address. Just a few lines written in Jessica's handwriting. Dad, you've proven I was right. You always make everything about yourself. I never want to see you again. I held the letter in my hands, feeling the weight of the words she had left me. For the first time, I wondered if maybe, in trying to give her everything, I had lost her completely. Thank you for listening to my story, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.